Live from the Newsmax studio in New York City, here is Steve Malzberg.
But to stop people Hamas firing rockets at their citizens. They have a right to defend themselves, and America would do exactly the same thing.
Doesn't the Geneva Conventions lay out that you cannot attack schools or hospitals?
Nobody's attacking schools or hospitals. We're attacking Hamas. But Hamas is standing in the middle of a hospital. If they're standing in the middle of a hospital and they're firing rockets at your kids, what would you expect us to do? Would you really want us to not try to stop them? And unfortunately, if there are innocents getting killed at the same time, it's not Israel's fault.
All right, welcome back, folks. That's Mike Bloomberg sitting next to a very uncomfortable Valerie Jarrett. We'll have more on a Gimme 5 on this tomorrow. But Mayor Bloomberg is right. Mayor Bloomberg is absolutely correct. And I want to get to what a couple of celebrities have done and another celebrity's reaction to what they have done. But first, let's go to Charles Krauthammer, who really speaks to a huge issue here. I want you to watch.
The rest of the world's reaction to what's happening in Gaza is Orwellian. It is shocking, especially in Europe. It is a resurgence of anti-Semitism not seen since the 30s. This is a recurrence. It's all over the world. And don't tell me it's anti-Zionism. You listen to the slogans, you see the signs. Hitler was right in Germany, a sign in Germany saying that this is a veneer that is a front for anti-Semitism. It is back. It's all over the world, and that's what we are now beginning to face.
It is absolutely true, and it's perpetuated, not entirely, but it's given support by some people with famous names, some Hollywood stars, sports stars, who don't know what they're talking about. And whether it's through pressure or whether it's through their own conscience speaking to them, after they tweet out pro-Palestinian tweets or pro-Palestinian hashtags, then they take it back and say, oh, oops, or oops, I'm not as educated as I thought I was, or oops, all I meant was this, or all I meant was that. But it's too late. It's out there, and it encourages and gives cover for the anti-Semites who are out there. Now, for instance, Penelope Cruz, the actress, and her husband, I believe, is it her husband? I don't know if it's her husband. Penelope Cruz and Javier Bardem signed an open letter denouncing the Israeli military action in Gaza. Yeah, they are. They're married, and their director pal, Pedro something or other, added their name to this missive, which the headlines put out earlier in the week. So when people who are fans of Penelope Cruz and her husband see this, or are looking for justification to hate, they take this. Well, Penelope Cruz and her husband, then after the letter was released, they clarified their position on the ongoing violence in the Middle East, saying they're only hoping for peace in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. But that's not the open letter they signed. So you see the problem? Now, John Voight, and I must do this, driving around in John Voight's car. Thank you very much. I have to. You know, Seinfeld nut, I had to do that. John Voight, the actor, not the dentist, he came out and he wrote a note, an open letter. He says, my name is John Voight, and I'm more than angry. I am heartsick that people like Penelope Cruz and Javier Bardem could incite anti-Semitism all over the world and are oblivious to the damage they have caused. And he goes on and on and on. And I believe that there's a chance John Voight will be, well, I shouldn't say, but he's very, very pro-Israel. Very, very pro-Israel. As any American should be. Anybody who lived through 9/11, anybody who understands the difference between terrorists and a country being attacked by terrorists. But when it's Israel, when it's Jews, anti-Semitism tends to rear its ugly head. So we're thankful, I'm thankful for people like, I speak for myself, for people like John Voight, and shame on people like Penelope Cruz who don't know what they're talking about and then take it back very quietly, but the damage is done. What could I say? All right, folks, we'll be back with retired Lieutenant Colonel in the U.S. Air Force Dan Hampton and more of the Steve Malzberg Show. But first, Here are some anxiety exercises with your Max to Health moment.
You're watching Max to Health.
Sometimes life moves so quick that you find yourselves overwhelmed. Anxiety affects everyone, so what can you do to get yourself under control when your stress levels soar?
The first thing people should do is pull back from the situation. If you can, separate yourself from the stressor for a period of time. Second thing that you should do is some deep breathing. Just sit by yourself for a while, concentrate on your breathing. Third thing you can do is visualization. Just stand back, try to take your mind to someplace calmer, someplace better, and that should help.
In addition, you may want to consider changing your daily routine. Try some calming techniques such as meditation or yoga. And lastly, limit your alcohol and caffeine intake, as those trigger panic and anxiety attacks. I'm Hannah Ostapchuk.
Get more health news at newsmaxhealth.com.